Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Too often, we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in our wonderful world. Welcome to another episode of Becoming Your Own Best Friend, a self-discovery series on the Dr. Dolores Show. We're actually in week number 3 of a 5-week series, and we had talked about self-acceptance and also about cultivating compassion. And this week, we're talking about nurturing our inner strength. And for some of us, sometimes we wonder how we're going to be able to move through things or get to our next steps, or we are just so bombarded and overwhelmed that we go into stress, anxiety, and not being able to maneuver through what's happening for us. So this episode I really wanted to devote to looking at nurturing our inner strength. And just a description here. uh, on our third episode, we're going to address nurturing inner strength, where we delve deeper into the concept of nurturing inner strength to navigate life challenges with grace and resilience. So we're going to, kind of set the stage for this show with, what is inner strength? We talk about inner strength, but how is it defined? And I think it's very individualized, but I think there's some core concepts that really lay the foundation for that. So, inner strength is a reservoir of resilience, courage, and determination that resides within each of us. It's the ability to persevere in the face of challenges, to remain steady in times of adversity, and to maintain a sense of integrity, purpose despite obstacles, and also to keep your sense of humor. Inner strength isn't just about physical endurance, it's also about emotional fortitude, mental toughness, and spiritual resilience. It empowers us to confront difficulties, overcome obstacles, and thrive in the face of adversity. Inner strength is cultivated through self awareness, self reflection, and personal growth. And it enables us to tap into our innate potential to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and ease. So that kind of really surmises what inner strength is. I feel it is the wisdom that we all have based on our experiences that we've had throughout our life. And let's face it, many of us have had some really interesting bumps in our road, in the road of life. And you sometimes wonder, how can you move through this? I believe that the saying, this too shall pass, is probably one of my go-to phrases, especially when things seem to be insurmountable. And sometimes when we feel like things are insurmountable, we might be in react mode, thinking that, okay, we have to do things the same way that we've done in the past in order to keep things at bay and to keep it together, so to say. And there's so much energy that's exuded with that. And when you have to, you know, put so much energy into that, it's like it's like a chronic type of thing that over time it's exhausting, and then you stress your body out, and when you stress your body out, your immune system goes amok, and then when your immune system goes amok, guess what? You start getting sick. So when we are tapping into our inner strength. It's like you're going within and pulling up those bootstraps on your boots and just being able to take a step forward, even if it's a baby step, into the direction that you want to see as the outcome. So, in contrast, what is not inner strength is this: inner strength is not suppressing emotions. So, when you suppress your emotions or deny your vulnerability, that is not inner strength. Sometimes when we suppress our emotions, it's well, let me back up. When what is not inner strength, it's not a facade of toughness that masks feelings or insecurities. It's not about being it's not about being invulnerable to pain or never experience fear or doubt. Inner strength does not equate to stubbornness or rigidity, nor does it mean being closed off to asking for help or seeking support from others. It's also not about dominating others and exerting power over them. So it's like abusing your power. Inner strength is not, in essence, inner strength is not about displaying a facade of strength, but rather about cultivating a genuine resilience, courage, and authenticity in face of life's challenges. It involves acknowledging one's vulnerabilities and imperfections while still drawing upon one's inner resources to navigate difficulties with integrity and determination. So it's not about what we call fake it till you make it. It's about allowing yourself, because fake it till you make it sometimes is like a bypass to me. It's like, all right, I'm going to pretend that I know what I'm doing, even though I have no clue, and not be responsible for the outcomes of that. So when you are going to move in or lean into what's going on, it's about embracing what is happening, being vulnerable enough to really tap into who you are and what you are and what you're experiencing. And even sharing that with other people, being genuine and authentic, but also vulnerable at the same time. There's something very real about that when you're able to step into that without feeling like you're humiliated, embarrassed, shamed, or whatever. You are just reaching out saying, I need help. And believe me, that is the ultimate of being vulnerable, is asking for help. Because many of us sometimes think we're the Lone Ranger and we could do it all by ourselves. So if you are that way, God bless. How's that working for you? It may not be working for you that well. So I invite you to sit with what you're experiencing and reach out to a trusted friend and just say, hey, I need some help. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not like there's something wrong with you because you don't have it all figured out. Now, if you're the type of person who's a perfectionist and thinks that you have to have it all figured out because that's the only way that you could, you put yourself on such a uh, high pedestal that nothing, nobody will want to help you because you should know all the answers. I think that's got to go out of the window, and we need to have get down and get real moment and just say, hey, look, you know what, I need help. I'm in uncharted territory and it's time for me to embrace what's going on instead of trying to fake it until I make it. Okay. It's like when you fake it till you make it, you're floundering or you're even bypassing the situation and not really dealing with the core issues. So, what are some of the ways that people suppress their inner strength? And, I think this is pretty, routine, but sometimes, when we ignore our emotions or what we're actually feeling about something, um, we have a tendency to not be in touch with what's really going on in our world. And many individuals suppress their inner strength by ignoring or repressing their emotions, believing that expressing vulnerability is a sign of weakness. And like I just shared, however, when you acknowledge and process your emotions, it's essential for building resilience and inner strength. So remember, emotions are our friends. Okay. We have been led to believe that emotions are, they're like this. You don't experience them or, ignore them, they'll go away. No, they're energetic. They're examples of energy in motion. And when we don't express them, guess what? That energy has to go someplace. And guess what? It eventually gets trapped in your physical body, and then you get sick and create another set of problems for yourself. And you don't want to do that. So feel away, express your emotions. I'm not saying about projecting your emotions on other people, expressing them, saying, I'm really feeling angry. I'm feeling very uncomfortable. I'm feeling very sad right now. And it's not about projecting it like saying, you make me feel sad. No, it's like owning what you're feeling. And, this situation has made me feel really sad. That's a great way to express something instead of saying, you made me do this. Don't project. Another way that people suppress their inner strength is by doubting themselves. Are you the type of person that constantly is questioning your abilities or your worth? And, if you keep doing that, that undermines your inner strength. When individuals doubt themselves, they may hesitate to take action or pursue their goals, diminishing their confidence and resilience. So, where in your life are you holding yourself back because of maybe something somebody said to you in one time or place that you took on as your truth, which wasn't your truth? Or is it something that you are not feeling secure about? It just, something to ponder and to find out where that's all about. On the Dr. Dolores show, we've talked a lot about negative self-talk in past episodes, and that is such a big piece to the puzzle. And I'll tell you why, because what we say to ourselves in the quiet of our mind, like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be good enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm worthless. Guess what? You're labeling your body. Your body is like a container of water. Our body is at least 75% water. When we label a container of water with the word, either, love or I hate you, we change that whole chemistry of this vial of water, and it starts playing out in our inner health and wellness. There's the law of attractions involved with this, but it's also the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto. If you ever are curious about studies of water and labeling water vessels and looking at different crystalline formations, he's a great resource for that. But this is so true. So, the stuff that we say to ourselves, when we internalize our negative beliefs and thoughts about ourselves and our self-criticism, we're the biggest self-critic ever. If you criticize and judge other people, hold up the mirror, because you're probably doing it to yourself. Seriously. And you got to stop that. That's not good stuff. When we do that, it just makes it more challenging to overcome obstacles and setbacks. And, sometimes we avoid challenges. We suppress our inner strength by avoiding challenges or playing it safe to prevent failure or discomfort. So we're getting ready to go on our first break, and you've been listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we are talking about um, in our Discovery series about nurturing your inner strength. So see you after the break.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We are talking about becoming your own best friend in our series, the self-discovery series. And today's topic is nurturing inner strength. And many of us, we are talking a little bit about what inner strength is and what it's not. And ways people are suppressing their inner strength. And right before break, we were talking about negative self-talk and how we sometimes oops, I dropped something, sometimes really interfere with who. Well, let me back up. I just startled myself, so it's just like bloop. Whoop. Anyway, so when our negative self-talk is not positive, it's like we label this vessel, which is almost 75% water, with the vibration of those not so good words. And what happens over time, it's just like this really adds impact to our physical health and well-being. And we got to clean that up a bit. Okay. Another thing that people do to suppress their inner strength is, like we were saying too, is avoiding challenges. They really play small instead of dreaming big. They dream small because they just don't feel that they're worthy, or maybe they've dreamt big before and been so disappointed because it never manifested. I could relate to that one for sure, because for me, it's been a real stretch sometimes to really dream big. And that's what I've been working on personally for myself, is really dreaming big and sending out those arrows of intention, with a bow and an arrow, and just, because for the longest time, I had been playing small. Some people also suppress their inner strength by seeking external validation. How many of us do that? It's like we have this inner wisdom that we know certain things, but almost like we need to have somebody validate that for ourselves. Um, and sometimes when you take it to the extreme, if a person really truly doesn't believe in themselves, and they rely too heavily on external validation for their self-worth or identity, that diminishes your inner strength too. Um, I think sometimes this is where the definition of giving your power away to something else. I mean, it's a subtle way of doing it, but we do it sometimes. And I think it's really important that you, seek out other people's opinions, but really, check in with self to see if it's in alignment with what you're feeling, or if it resonates with you. The other thing that is another thing that people do to prevent themselves from, being, you know, in their power, and also to, whoopsie, embrace their inner strength, is their over dependence on others. Um, hmm. It's almost like being like a codependent, like putting everybody else's needs before your own, and not making yourself a priority, but making everybody else a priority. So that weakens your inner strength. Constantly relying on external sources for validation, guidance, and solutions can hinder your ability to develop your own coping mechanisms and problem solving skills. So when stuff happens in our lives, um, I think depending on what each one of our histories is, we have a tendency sometimes just to go into automatic and react mode, thinking that this is how we need to handle this. So we just, put everything, kind of put it in a box, and the box has a certain label of how you treat it. Well, that may work for a while, and then maybe all of a sudden it may not be working anymore because it's no longer, feasible, and maybe you've learned what you needed to learn from this, and it's time to pivot and maybe try something different. So instead of being like in react mode with something, when something happens, just sit back and say, with the curiosity of a child, or that just being curious, isn't that interesting? And just be able to look at what's going on from a bigger perspective, a widened view. Perfectionism, we talked about that again, and there's going to be another episode coming up in the future on the Dr. Dolores show on perfectionism, um, because I think it's a real interesting topic, and it's a coping mechanism for a lot of people, but it's a barrier to inner strength. Perfectionism often leads to unrealistic expectations, fear of failure, and excessive self criticism, preventing you from embracing your imperfections and learning from your setbacks. So it's almost like, how could I say it? It's like if you look at an iceberg, the perfectionism is just the tip of the iceberg of what is kind of going on underneath the surface. And this is like the fear of failure, excessive self criticism, preventing individuals from embracing their imperfections, and, unrealistic expectations. So all of that is under the surface, and it hides with the illusion of being perfect. So it's a coping mechanism, and it's not the best coping mechanism, because when somebody's a perfectionist, in my eyes, because I've lived it, it's like there's more going on underneath the surface, and it's actually preventing you from digging deeper as to what is really driving you to feel the need that you have to be perfect. Okay. So when you're able to go below that gray area there, or that the bottom of the iceberg underneath that, is the true essence of what the true issue is. So it's something to ponder, and something to really, um, you know, reflect on, and even possibly lean in. So when you recognize the patterns, and actively work to overcome them, you could tap into your inner strength and cultivate resilience in the face of challenges. So, how can we embrace inner strength and nurture it to have more grace and resilience? I think one of the most important things is self-awareness. And we talk a lot about self-awareness and mindfulness on the Dr. Dolores show, because I feel that's one of the foundational pieces of being in the present moment right here. When you are self aware, you are more in your body than in your mind. When you are self aware, you are in the present moment, and you're not thinking about yesterday or contemplating tomorrow. You're right here, right now. When you're in the present moment, there's self-awareness. The self-awareness things, self-awareness, when you're more self-aware, I'm having problems with my words today, people. Blah, more coffee for Dolores. Okay. We start becoming aware of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and we notice patterns of self-doubt, negative self-talk, and avoidance challenges. Because we're observing and witnessing, we're not in it reacting to it. There's a difference. We have pulled ourselves out, we're still part of it, but instead of being right in the face of it, like going at it like a pit bull and reacting, we are pulling ourselves back and just looking at the bigger picture and just saying, oh, isn't that interesting? There's a pattern here. Or I've had this feeling before. It's like I call it themes and variations of a core issue. It's like maybe we are getting another aspect of a core issue to help ourselves move through. So it's self awareness and just being aware of what's happening. How you develop self awareness is through mindfulness activities. And we've talked a lot about that in previous shows as well. Anything that you could do that is, we call a mindful activity, I like to define that as anything that you do that you lose all sense of time and place. We've all had those moments where you are either gardening or doing something you absolutely love and time just flies on by. 4 hours go by in the drop of a, in a drop of a hat. And you're like, oh, well, so that's the definition of mindfulness and being in the present moment. It's like timelessness, no time. It's like time stands still or it speeds up or whatever it does, but that's what happens. So that's one thing that you could do, you know, positive self-talk. Continue to filter out what you're saying to yourself, because sometimes that happens on automatic too. And being aware that, oh, I'm not being very kind to myself. I need to change that. Okay. It may be a challenge to do that. If you've been, beating yourself up for a long period of time and you have all this self-doubt, it's like it's going to be baby steps. You do it and you nurture yourself. You may want to even imagine your favorite person, your favorite pet, if you have animals, and would you be saying that to this person? And just pretend that you are that person that's your favorite, and just embrace that and just speak kind and loving words to yourself. Set realistic goals. I think a lot of us have, these arrows of intentions that are they're, we send them out to the ethers. We want to have this, and when it doesn't happen, we kind of get discouraged and we start playing small, and it boils down to not feeling like you're worthy of having what you desire. Goals are great, but realize that some goals are going to take time. Maybe some goals will manifest quickly. And, whatever it is, just allow it to be as it is. So, setting realistic expectations for yourself reduces the pressure to be perfect and fosters a sense of accomplishment, boosting confidence and resilience. And that's what it's all about. We want to build our confidence and resilience. Embrace your vulnerability. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to share your thoughts and feelings and struggles with people who are there for you. Reach out to people and make connections. I'm not saying uh, share your deepest secrets with somebody who's going to come and attack you and use that against you. This is where discernment comes in. It's like reaching out to people who are like-minded and sharing um, your thoughts, feelings, and struggles, and connecting with others on a deeper level fosters empathy, support, and resilience. So when you find, your persons that you can really share, you know, your deepest secrets with, this is where it's really important. This is how you start forming community, and community is so necessary and needed today. Practice self-care. Self-care is essential, especially now, because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you, folks. You have to do that. That's essential. Self-care may be putting yourself to sleep early at night. Self-care may be sleeping in the morning without the alarm clock going off, if you have the liberty to do that. Just sleep until you wake up naturally. Um, Nurturing yourself, also feeding yourself, hydrating yourself, exercising yourself, and even saying kind words to yourself and setting boundaries. These are all parts of self-care. So we're getting ready to go on our second break on the Dr. Dolores Show, and I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're on the Inspired Choices Network, and we're bringing to you today episode 3 of Becoming Your Own Best Friend Discovery Series, Nurturing Inner Strength. See you when we come back.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we are in our third segment or episode of the Becoming Your Best Friend self-discovery series. And we're speaking about nurturing your inner strength today. And before our breaks, we went through what inner strength was and what inner strength was not, and how are some ways that we could really start cultivating inner strength for ourselves. So in this segment of our podcast or our show today, I'm going to bring you on a guided meditation for nurturing inner strength and tap into your innate wisdom for resilience. So let's, get settled in, and let's get ready to enjoy a delicious guided meditation. So when you're ready, I'm going to just invite you to find a comfortable seated position, or if you're lying down, and just close your eyes gently and just focus on your breathing right now. Take a deep breath in and slowly blow it out. Take another deep breath in and slowly blow it out. And take one more deep breath in and slowly blow it out. And just allow your breathing to return to its normal inhale and exhale patterning, and know that with every inhale that you make and every exhale that you take, you're going to settle more into the present moment. So start by bringing your attention more so to your breath, and notice the sensation of the breath as it enters and leaves your body. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. With each breath, allow yourself to relax deeper into the present moment, letting go of any tension or distractions. Now bring your awareness to your body, starting from the top of your head and slowly scanning down to your toes. Notice any areas of tension or discomfort, and with each exhale, imagine releasing that tension, allowing your body to soften and relax. Now visualize a warm, glowing light at the center of your being. This light represents your inner strength and resilience. With each breath, feel that light expanding and radiating throughout your entire body, filling you with a sense of courage, confidence, and resilience. Repeat the following affirmations silently or aloud, allowing them to resonate deeply within you. I am strong, capable, and resilient. I am strong, capable, and resilient. I am strong, capable, and resilient. I trust in my inner wisdom to guide me through challenges. I trust in my inner wisdom to guide me through challenges. I trust my inner wisdom to guide me through challenges. I embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth and learning. I embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth and learning. I embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth and learning. I am worthy of love, compassion, and support. I am worthy of love, compassion, and support. I am worthy of love, compassion, and support. Take a moment to focus on your breath again. As you inhale, imagine breathing in strength, courage, and resilience. As you exhale, imagine releasing any doubts, fears, or limitations. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more grounded and centered in your inner strength. Now envision yourself facing a challenge or obstacle with grace and confidence. See yourself tapping into your inner wisdom and resilience to overcome the challenge with ease and determination. Visualize yourself emerging from the experience stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. Take a moment now to reflect on the blessings and strengths in your life. Express gratitude for the support of loved ones, the lessons learned from past experiences, and the resilience within you that has carried you through difficult times. Now slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. Wiggle your fingers and toes, gently stretch your body, and when you're ready, open your eyes. And just take a moment to acknowledge the inner strength and resilience you've cultivated within yourself, knowing that it will continue to support you on your journey. Well, welcome back, everybody. How was that? I could see and feel that many of you are planted in your body right now and are in the present moment. We just remember that when you're able to embrace your inner strength, you practice self care, you're learning from your setbacks. The setbacks are not failures, they're actually opportunities for growth and learning. And, I know I've talked about this before. We come to Earth to learn about being a human being. In fact, Earth is like the University of Earth, and we're all getting our PhDs in being human. And part of being human is our ability to learn from all the experiences that we have had in our life. And let's face it, some of them may not have been labeled as the most pleasant ones, and maybe some of them were, but they're all learning opportunities and allows us to grow at a very deep and profound level. We talked about gratitude in the meditation, and cultivating gratitude is it's a huge thing too for us. Um, when you are grateful for everything that you have, even the things that we label as not so pleasant, it's like you're opening the doorway for more and more things to be grateful for. Not necessarily the ones we are labeling bad, but it's about cultivating a mindset of gratitude fosters resilience by shifting our focus from what's lacking to what we have and cherish. I think an important thing to remember is that to always stay adaptable, and I'm going to say stay teachable. I know for myself, I'm truly humbled on a daily basis because even at my age, I've, I'm in my 60s now. It's like I've had a lot of life experience, and just when you think you've seen it all and heard it all and whatever, the universe just sends you opportunities that you scratch your head and it's like I've never ever seen this before. It's like I'm humbled every day because I'm always learning something new that you know, who would have thunk some of these things? And it's kind of exciting at the same time. So when we are able to embrace change and uncertainty as part of our lives, as an inevitable thing, it's going to happen. It's not like we are stagnant. We're always in flux of change, which creates a lot of uncertainty for people, and that equals a lot of comfort for some people. And I'm just going to invite you to just look at things differently and just, challenge yourself and say, what am I going to be learning from this? And be excited about that. And be excited about learning new things. Celebrate your resilience. Acknowledge and celebrate your resilience by recognizing your strengths, accomplishments, and progress. Remind yourself of the challenges you've overcome and the resilience you've demonstrated, reinforcing your belief in your inner strength and your belief in yourself. It's all about self confidence, too. It's about us being able to um, be our own cheerleader, if you want to call it that. We're talking about becoming your own best friend. This is about you being your own cheerleader. Important things to really remember. Sometimes when we go through very difficult things, it's sometimes very hard when you're in it to see what we call the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not the train coming at you, okay? It is like being able to see where the end point is of what this is about. And it can be a scary place to be. It could be daunting, but know that this too shall pass because it always does. That is a great mechanism that I use to get me through difficult things. It's like, okay, I'm going through some challenges right now, and I know this too will pass. I just have to be patient with the process, and most importantly, be patient with myself. Because remember, sometimes we beat ourselves up, we aren't patient, and we aren't patient with ourselves. So if you find yourself being impatient with others, or you're judging or criticizing others, I would put money on the fact that you are probably doing those things to yourself as well. And maybe it's time to shift those inner behaviors so the outward reflection is going to be something different, something to think about, something to. I encourage people to take that on as a task for themselves, or a a challenge to, okay, what am I doing to other people? Because a lot of times we do these things automatically. We're gossiping, poking fun at people, or just being mean spirited sometimes. And it's like, okay, so if you're doing this to other people, my guess would be you're probably doing it to yourself internally as well. Okay. Because it's a projection. And we are who we are, and when people project onto us, you get to see a true picture of what they are on the inside, what's going on the inside of them. Something to really ponder and think about. So I can't believe we're wrapping this up pretty soon, and are getting ready to go to our last segment. But you're on the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're on the Inspired Choices Network, and we're talking about nurturing inner strength. So when we come back, we'll just wrap it up for the session.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, and I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we are in our third episode of a Becoming Your Own Best Friend self-discovery series, and we've been talking about nurturing your inner strength today on the Dr. Dolores Show. And throughout the episode, we talked about what inner strength is and what it isn't, and how people can start embracing their inner strength and having more inner strength. And then we did a guided meditation on embracing your inner strength. So if you are just tuning in now, I invite you to go back and listen to the whole segment, because you'll get some juicy tidbits as to how to nurture your inner strength. So I really want to, give you the top takeaways from this episode. I think the most important thing about nurturing your inner strength is self-awareness is key, and just being aware. So many of us who are interested in my topics and stuff like that, they're waking up. People are either awake, awakening, or still asleep. And a lot of people are waking up in our society and realizing that things are not working as well as they had been, or what they had been doing prior is no longer working. Or it's like the proverbial rug has got pulled out from underneath them. And it's like they are awake, they are realizing things aren't working, maybe relationships, jobs, anything else is falling away. And, sometimes it could be a very, you're a very tedious, but very uncertain spot. So if this is you, this is something that you may consider exploring and realizing there's people who are waking up, like many of us, that have been through this and can help you maneuver through that. So if that's like you, reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you some more. Self-awareness is key. Self-awareness is about recognizing your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and allows you to understand your strengths and areas for growth. It's about being teachable. It's about allowing yourself to grow and learn from things. It's about being able to um, look at the patterns that might be undermining your inner strength and resilience. And it's allowing you to make positive changes when you're self-awareness. Self-awareness is a big key. So just become more self-aware. Embrace your vulnerability. Acknowledge and accepting your vulnerabilities is essential for building inner strength. Instead of viewing vulnerability as a weakness, see it as a source of courage and authenticity. When you embrace your vulnerability, you can connect more deeply with yourself and others. And this is what it's all about. It's having a healthy relationship with yourself, becoming your own best friend. And most importantly, practice self care. Self care is essential right now. And it's prioritizing your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, dimensional, and ancestral well being. Okay, I add those last two because that's really what it's all about. We are such a multifaceted matrix, and all of these things come into play. So self care is essential. When we don't take care of ourselves, we aren't there for other people, and we can't give from an empty tank to other people. We need to keep our tank full and give from the overflow of that. So that could help you with your resilience and grace. So our mindset matters. Remember our key things that we say to ourselves, and reach out and ask for support, and just celebrate progress, not perfection. Shift your focus from perfectionism to progress. Instead of striving for flawless outcomes, celebrate the small victories and milestones on the way. So next week, we're going to be talking about, well, where is it? Yes, it's right here. Becoming Your Own Best Friend, a self-discovery series, and we're talking about embracing boundaries. And we've talked about boundaries before on the Dr. Dolores show, but I feel that that's one of the foundational pieces to setting the foundation for becoming your own best friend. And so we're going to embark on a transformative journey of self-discovery, becoming your own best friend self-discovery series. In the 5-part series, viewers explore the essence of self-love and empowerment, laying the foundation for awesome relationship with self. And we're going to talk about how important boundaries are in all of this. And for those people who have difficulty setting boundaries, this is the show for you. So I want to leave you guys with some words of inspiration. In the face of adversity, remember that you are stronger than you know, braver than you believe, and more resilient than you imagine. So we're going to wrap up the show. This is Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And I'm just going to remind you to love yourself. You are worth it. And if nobody else does that for you, because they won't, you need to do it for yourself. So definitely take the time to nurture your relationship with yourself. Because remember, the longest relationship you're going to ever have in your life is the one you have with yourself. All right, so take care and see you next time, and make the next week an amazing week. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.